Hello, Aries, and welcome to your monthly forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's great to see everybody. Before we get started, just a quick reminder that you can use this for sun, rising, and moon sign, and this can help you basically look at the next 6 to 8 weeks. It's going to show high points, challenges, and all the stuff in between. Let's get into channeled messages. Last night, there were two vivid images that came through in dreams. The first thing that I saw was a water lily. And what I love about like a lotus blossom or just even a lily blossom is you know that it has to be rooted in the mud, showing that there is this connection to the earth, but it makes its way through all the murky waters to find the light of day. That means that no matter where you are, when you're looking at this reading, no matter how challenging or even how blessed things might be, there's the ability now for things to go to a higher energy. So you're just at the tip of the iceberg of possibilities. And I do see things starting to go into a bigger, better, brighter energy. It's also connected to the crown chakra. So this is a really good month to focus on development of a new project or idea or even educational things. If you're getting some training or going back to school, all of these things are going to help uplift you. And that also is what basically the lotus blossom or lily blossom represents to me. You see it a lot even in Egyptian mythology and pictures. You'll see it in their hieroglyphs. So it definitely connects you to enlightenment, and it's saying, trust your instincts, invest in yourself, particularly when it comes to, again, educational endeavors and just focusing on things like intuitive development, meditation, etc. All of these things are going to give you the tools that you need to navigate any challenges that are in front of you. And you're not stuck. That's the main thing with this particular message. If you take nothing away from this except that, this is a month to get unstuck. And that's been a common theme. It's showed up in different ways for different signs. And for you, it's saying keep reaching, just like the blossom. You're just about there. And we're going to look at the unfurling energy that's presenting itself in the month ahead. The second thing that I saw was stone tablets. And what I saw is that they were blank. Someone was trying to say that something was on them, but there was possibilities. It was not written in stone. And we can kind of take this in two or three different ways. First of all, you have the ability to create something new, something from scratch, unencumbered by all of these sort of expectations or dictated ways of doing things. So be imaginative, try new things. It's not gospel. It's not written in stone. If someone says it's this or nothing, and you think there might be a better way, go with that. There might be a better way. And because I saw the tablets, which can represent guidance for the future, what you create, please make sure that you're taking time to record the process behind the scenes, show your research, get everything together. This is particularly for maybe like students, entrepreneurs, or anybody that's trying to develop something. Capture all of this initial process when you're ideating and brainstorming. It's really powerful. For everybody else, it's reminding you that in this moment, you're writing your own future. You're writing your own destiny. Anybody that is telling you that you have to follow a certain protocol or a certain path or nothing, they're lacking imagination. So really the big takeaway from these two symbols is enlightenment, imagination, and intuition. You're the source. You're the one that's writing the words on the tablets and creating your own sort of book of days and book of destiny. So do so wisely and don't let somebody else tell you your truth, okay? I'm here today to help you navigate, to help you see the possibilities. There's one last thing before we get into the cards here, and it was to give something a second try. Not second chance, but try it again. The second time or the third time or whatever attempt this is, I see much more success in that. And that's one last bit that came through in live channeling. So don't give up. All right, now let's take a look at the cards and see what additional messages are coming through, Aries, for the next 6 to 8 weeks. All right, let's get started here. Close your eyes, let go of any pre-existing thoughts that you might be bringing into this reading, and open yourself up now to receive. Receive from angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, and of course, your own highest guidance. All right, open your eyes. Let's begin. We already see some really major cards of change coming through here, particularly with the Tower at the center ending with the World. So we can actually say change for the better, doors that are starting to open, really good stuff so far. All right, let's begin. Let's get started here with your catalyst energy. You're invited. Suit up, show up, and open up. So absolutely, this is a time to say yes to any sort of invitation. I was just talking to Taurus about something similar, but it came through right here in the card. And it's important to make sure that you are showing up prepared. So suit up. It's about what you're wearing, but it's also about what you're bringing into an engagement, a meeting, a face-to-face. Do your homework for anything. And once you're there, then it's the easy part. The hard part is kind of doing, sort of research, getting your mental sort of self situated so you just feel like I've got this. Then it can just be an exchange of two people, two souls, two energies. And I love the beautiful, it's almost like a little snail there at the center. This whole thing is like the golden ratio. And so slow and steady. Things do not have to immediately just be this, kind of like fireworks moment. I think this could be any type. This is really showing like what I see as a exchange between two people. Sometimes we put too much pressure on a first meeting. So whether it's an interview, a date, or just meeting an old friend or whatever, just let it be what it needs to be. And I see things starting to slowly morph or grow or evolve into what they need to. Think about the blossom that I was talking about, like a lotus blossom. It takes its time to unfurl. We don't rush it. It takes a long time to come through all of the murky waters. So just get to the point where you feel ready, safe, and then everything's going to blossom in its own time. This is also a great time for those of you that have like a business to send out invitations to a party or a launch event or something of that nature. And also the very last thing, let's take away all the business and dating pieces here. This is just about you. You are invited in this moment in your life to just show up and be the best version of yourself. Be authentic. This is like the star card as well. We have the number 9 on this card. So for many of you, this is maybe connecting with the 9th of the month, or it may be like a little over a week from the time that you're watching this, maybe 9 days from now. But really be aware of your own power, your own sort of abilities and what you're bringing to the table, and don't hold back. All right, let's look at the rest of the cards here on the table. Speaking of the table, like I said, the big trajectory this month is necessary change for the better, revelation energy for sure, and moving on. Overall, I like what I see. Success is a part of this as well, and I think it's about getting out of your own way too. So let's talk about it. The center card, the Tower. Sometimes it's a feared card, but usually it's misunderstood. She's actually an agent of change. So I'm using one of the new gifted decks that I have, and everybody's either a witch or a wizard in this deck. So it's basically people connecting with their power. So this person is using their power to create change. And in this case, it's to break down something that basically doesn't serve its highest purpose or your highest purpose anymore. So you might be deciding to quit a job, leave a relationship, make a change in your own health, your routine, the way you're taking care of yourself. It could also be breaking something down to its smaller pieces so it's easier to understand. In doing so, it's not a complete loss. The Tower can give you a chance to look at all of those supplies and make something better with it. So we can take our experiences, and it doesn't have to be starting from scratch. That's how you can get to the Tower, ostensibly by the end of the month. It's just saying, all right, enough of this. Let's focus on this. And so I feel like this is a very navigatable Tower card. And it's one where you can trust your instincts. I had my finger on this little tiny cat, which is so cute. So really follow your instincts, and I feel like you can land on your feet. Whatever change feels like it might already be underway. It's more about embracing it and saying, yeah, I know this is happening. What can I do to maximize my experience in the necessary change? That's how you can embrace this. So it's really interesting that the Queen of Swords is touching three very powerful cards: Eight of Wands, the Tower, and the Queen of Pentacles. So we have resources, change, and basically movement happening here. This moment in time, you can either take things and elevate it or create chaos. Let's choose the elevation route. So basically the way to stay elevated in communication is to stay constructive, to try to help people see a way through some of the challenges. So you're the voice of reason, you're the visionary person, and you want to keep it simple. Make sure that anything you say, you can stand behind. Make sure that anything you say, you can back up. And if you can't, don't say it yet. Don't do it yet. Do the research, be ready, and then whenever it's time, you're absolutely prepared, empowered, grounded, and it's going to be okay. So just don't speak or act hastily. That's the only thing that I'll say. Even though the Queen is not reversed, the Queen of Swords can still sometimes come across really strong, okay? Now, on a very positive note, this month in particular, your voice can carry, whether it's in written communication or verbal or like what we're doing right now, telepresence. You have the ability to really reach a larger audience, and that can help you. This can also create necessary change. If you don't like something, speak up. You have the ability to get other people to help you make that change happen, okay? So by and large, pretty good. Just, we want to avoid putting our foot in our mouths. And that's one thing that can happen here if you're not ready. So only speak up when ready. In the deep past, for some of you, it's a permission, encouragement from the universe to make a necessary move. Again, with that Tower card at the center and the World card in the outcome, this could be moving up, moving on, moving out. Also very much in alignment with what I've been seeing for other signs. You may also be taking a step backward and finishing something that you never finished before. Let's say you want to go back and get your GED, or you want to go and really kind of explore a relationship that you didn't have a chance to before, or you're embracing your own personal development, since that's what I was seeing in channeled messages. Whatever it is, it feels like it's not a step back, it's a step to the side to finish something, to pick up something and say, oh yeah, I haven't forgotten about this. There might be a necessary move geographically or physically from one place to another. Some of you might also finally be at that tipping point where you're just getting over the loss or the release of someone or something. Grief takes many shapes and forms, and it takes its own sweet time to move its way through our lives. And you're at a point now where I feel like many of you are ready to explore new things. So don't feel bad for that. That's actually a beautiful moment when the grief is no longer something that controls us, when we're not beholden to it, but we're rather aware of it, we make peace with it, and we start to integrate it into our lives so that we can move forward, okay? Pretty powerful so far. Recent past. I think this is really important. I've gotten this message time and again this month. You do not have to clean up other people's messes. This tornado, I just watched like Twisters. I rented it. This reminds me of that. But you don't have to clean up other people's messes, and you're not the only one that is capable of making something happen. We actually see it here in the spread. There are two queens, Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. And there's also a lot of other people here in the Six of Wands ready to follow and help. So the only thing that's kind of chaotic in this card is one person's trying to control something bigger and more sort of like, not necessarily powerful, but just bigger than they need to. It's a mess that wasn't one of their own creation. So ask for help, say no if something doesn't make sense, and don't take on more than you need to. Now, the positive aspect. This is movement personified. Typically, Eight of Wands is really positive, so I'm going to take the traditional card here and pull it up while we're talking. In business, what the Eight of Wands represents is a sustainable period where there's a lot of great things coming through. In your life, this is where you blink and you're like, oh my gosh, 2 or 3 months just went by. How did that happen? it's productivity, it's sustainability, it's progress, it's movement. Here's your traditional card. This is really what we want to get you to, is just smooth sailing. And maybe that's what has been lacking in the past. This is a card that usually shows people on a boat. So smooth sailing is not an accidental turn of phrase. I feel like simply by not trying to control something that is not one of your own making or is overly complicated, you're going to save time and energy, and then you can get back into a more fluid and less chaotic Eight of Wands. Let's let the tornado run its course and then focus on what matters most. Sometimes things do have to do that. It's really cool that the tornado and the tower are right next to each other. It's going to be okay. We do have a Queen of Pentacles here in the future state. So something that's predictable that's happening, it happens, and then we see here the ability to take this and make something of it. You're being asked to step more into a leadership role. I think one of the things that might be difficult with this card is trying to control everything and everyone. And this one is really just saying, you know what, no, I'm going to actually lead the charge. And if someone wants to create their own mess or be the volcano over there or the tornado, that's their thing. I got bigger things to focus on. And when you do that, you're going to attract people that are less volatile, that are more connected to this energy of success. But I do get that you might be a little bit ahead of things, so in your thinking, and it takes people a hot minute or two to catch up. This summer, one of my new favorite artists that I found was Chapel Rowan, but like she's been around for a while, and her first album came out right before the pandemic, but it took until now for people to discover her, but the good work still got recognized. So just like someone that's created something that's great, but it hasn't caught on, keep working on yourselves. By the time people do catch up, you're going to be already on to the next big thing, and you're going to have all of this store of good energy and work and progress. And at the end of the day, at the end of this life, we're really doing it all for our higher selves. So you're tracking really nicely right now, even if you're not getting the validation from others. I see it in the cards. Necessary change, necessary movement. Keep on keeping on, okay? Success is subjective. So what you term as successful may not be what your parent, what your teacher, what your best friend thinks is successful. So this is the stone tablets. Create your own path, create your own truth, your own gospel. What's gospel for you is not gospel for someone else. This is a period in time during which you're really actually being encouraged to focus on personal development. In the upright position, the Queen of Pentacles nurtures. She's second only to Empress energy in Divine Feminine, her ability to help, to foster. That's why you see all the kittens right at her feet. Normally we would see a bunny rabbit. Instead, we see like a litter of kittens right there. So there's a lot of things moving and a lot of things that you've created in your own life. Now is a time to say, you know what, I need this to feel stable, to feel focused, to feel happy and healthy. Whatever that is for you, do it. Focusing not just on education or your money, but also on your health. So in the reverse state, it's really taking in and taking care of what it is that you need to be the best version of yourself. The only thing to be mindful of with either the King or the Queen of Pentacles in reverse is sometimes they overdo it. So it can represent overworking. In the case of treating yourself, it can also be overindulging. So whatever your vice might be or whatever might be tempting to you, everything in moderation. That's one thing that I do have to highlight when we're looking at this. Looking at you, we have a card that follows success, the Seven of Wands. And it's a card where oftentimes you have to push back and tell people, you know what, I can't, not that you can't do it, you're going to choose. We're going to use better language. So it's about delegation. Say, I choose to focus on this. Can you help me with this? And if somebody is putting an impossible amount of work on your plate, you say, this is what I'd like to focus on, or this is what's feasible in this amount of time. What do you want to do about this? So don't say I can't or it isn't possible. Instead, focus on the best course and be the leader that you are. Now, otherwise, it's just saying no to things. You don't have to say yes to every invitation. Choose the ones that feel like most aligned to your path, because you might get more than one invitation this month. It could be, again, hang out with me, or I'd like you to work on this, or hey, have you thought about joining this? Whatever that might be. So be discerning. You only have so much energy in any given day to kind of expend. So choose it wisely, use it wisely, and I think in doing so, you're going to be able to get back into that energy of success and continue to have the smooth sailing that we talked about a little bit earlier. As we take a look at what's going on in the environment, it's interesting. I think there's someone around you that is not ready. They're not ready to listen. They're not ready to kind of like connect. And this is when I was saying you can't clean up other people's messes, but it's also really powerful. You can't fix everyone around you. This could be as close as a parent or a spouse, or it could be also someone else that's like a best friend, and you want to help them through it. It could be an addiction. It could be some sort of just self-defeatist tendency that they have, especially since we had the tower at the center. But that's a very telling Eight of Swords. This person's like, help me get out of it. They have to get to the point where they're ready to help themselves, because at this point they just want a quick fix. So if there's someone around you that's sort of kind of ready, but they're not ready to do the work, and they're not ready to also be accountable. It's the accountable piece. When someone's accountable and receptive, then anything is possible. But if they just want you to fix it, they have to be a co-participant in this. They're the ones that co-created some of the mess, and that's what I'm getting there. Now, irrespective of that, for some of you, you may not have a person that's having difficulty in dealing with their lives, but this could be someone who is just not ready to receive what it is that you're giving to them. This could be a job application and you're not hearing back. It could be someone that you went out on a date with and they ghost you, particularly since this card can be connected with ghosting. It could be a friend, you lost touch, or you tried reaching out but you never hear back. There's like crickets at the other end. As frustrating as that might be, a lack of response is still a response. And I think that you may not be getting anything because the universe is trying to help you avoid from getting into that tower energy. Basically, I feel like many of you are onto a much better trajectory here. When we just look at these next two cards, we have Ace of Pentacles and the World. So if this person or this energy or this path is blocked, something better is waiting. And it is a big and really wonderful door that's opening up. So let's focus on that. Don't force the connection. For those of you that watch me, you know that's one of the things that I'll say. If a door is really closed, locked, and deadbolted, probably for a reason. Go to the open door. Go to the path that's inviting. You don't need to go into that do not disturb. There's some things better left undisturbed. All right, so Ace of Pentacles. This is a beautiful ace because we normally don't see someone in the ace. That's more of a page energy. But lo and behold, we see things starting to come through pretty quickly. So someone says no, someone else is going to say yes. One door closes, another opens. One thing that you should not be afraid of is continuing to knock, continuing to explore, continuing to put yourself out there. You are invited to succeed this month. You are invited to elevate, to basically grow. One person didn't get that RSVP, didn't get the invitation. They don't get it, but other people will. So allow yourself to find like-minded people and engage with that energy. So if you're looking for love, it's possible to find it. If you're looking for a job, yes. But most importantly, you're going to recognize the value within first, then other people catch on. I love what I see here in the outcome. We have the World, and this represents, again, progress, expansion, distribution, basically people discovering you and also you discovering the bigger world that awaits you. This helps color every other card that we saw. So the Tower in the center is change for the better. Letting go of trying to worry about what people think is successful or cleaning up messes or letting go of something, all of that frees up your resources so that you can engage with these two cards. This is hopes, fears, and opportunities. This is the outcome. So we have something coming through that's going to add to your resources and worth. And it may involve, for many of you, a physical move. It could also involve opening your mind, going further than you would have possibly expected. She's throwing that hat off of her head, opening her crown chakra, and she's saying, let's do this. What have I got to lose? I'm ready for this. The most important thing in this moment is to think to yourself, I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm worthy to receive all of the love, abundance, and opportunity that is coming through. I'm also at peace with whatever needs to go in the other direction. So be it. Goodbye, and not good riddance. It's just basically bless you, thank you, and let's move on. Speaking of moving on, let's take a look at the expanded forecast. We're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny, beginning with the energy of health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. We have the stingray coming through here, which is also a really powerful energy. I feel like it's closely aligned with the Queen of Swords because it kind of reminds me of that sword. It's also reminding you, unless you bother one of these, you're not going to have any issues. But if you poke the bear or if you bother the stingray, you could get stung. So one thing that we're seeing here is to pick and choose battles wisely, particularly verbal sparring. So, if somebody is just argumentative, or if they won't listen, you're having a conversation and they just keep walking down the same path, or they don't basically do the extra work to try to empathize or meet you halfway, there's better uses of your time and energy. What I do love whenever I see any aquatic creature is its ability to be flexible, to go up, to go down, to bend. And so your flexibility emotionally and also figuratively, literally rather, is going to be important. So working on emotional flexibility, but then also in the body. Okay. So this is a great time for stretching, for yoga, swimming, any sort of activity that's going to help lengthen and strengthen your body. All right. Speaking of your body and general health, let's see what else is coming through in the cards here. It might be time to move, two significant cards of moving. Part of this is because there's an environment that just isn't suitable. It could be because of the type of people there. Maybe, like we see here, not supportive, or this can be someone who takes a lot, selfish, and you need a place where you can grow, where you can breathe, where you feel like there's just a little bit more freedom. So I'm all for that. This can be also literally toxic. There might be something, many of you know I had to get out of a situation because of mold. There could be asbestos or mold or lead or something in the environment that, is a textbook example of something that's toxic. So absolutely. Or structurally, maybe there's something that is not sound or fit. So if there's a building and, the foundation isn't good, or, there's something wrong with the electrical wiring or whatever, it's time. All right. What else is going on here? Throat activation because of Queen of Swords. Queen of Pentacles, again, is about avoiding excess. So if you just started something new in your life, don't try to master it overnight. This is especially true in exercise or changes in diet. Slow and steady wins the race. Don't overdo it. This can also be a pregnancy that requires bed rest because there's just a lot of energy. There could also be multiple children, maybe twins or triplets or something, because I see the whole litter here. So there could be, just that complication when it comes to pregnancy. Other things that I see coming through, basically success and expansion. So whatever challenges you have in your health or in your emotional state, it does feel like it's something that you can make significant headway and progress, if not completely overcome. So keep up the good work. One last note, and then we'll move on to wealth. The Seven of Wands often comes through for people that are trying to lift weights or do some physical training, and there's a tendency, particularly when it's reversed, sometimes to injure yourself. And the reason is you might be working in a class or with a trainer that pushes you too hard. You've got to basically listen to your body, push back, and know when enough is enough. All right. Let's move on to wealth, resources, life, purpose, and career. This is such a powerful message to come through in wealth. The card was reversed, but it reads vulnerability. And hello, that is the hardest thing in life to be, except when we're children. So I take it back. I think we come into this planet trusting, vulnerable, capable, loving, unfiltered. We learn through rejection, through a lack of support, through a lot of not so great experiences, to put up that wall. This month, Spirit is saying, take it down piece by piece. That's why you got the Tower. That's what this is all about, folks. In your life in general, forget money, forget business. All of that follows. For you to have a firm foundation, you have to love unconditionally yourself in the most wholesome and elevated way possible. Look in the mirror and think, I'm the best that I can be. And that's got to be enough for others, because And if you're not there yet, you work on it. You say, I want to work on this, I want to work on this, but I still love myself, support myself, and know that I'm doing the best that I can. That'll help you open up into this vulnerability to share parts of yourself, maybe that you haven't in the past. That's one of the things I do each and every day, each and every video here. I'm like, well, why don't I share a little bit about this, a little bit about that? And then one day you just realize, this is who I am, and people can take it or leave it. I hope for those of you that happen to be a little bit younger that this message comes through so you don't have to spend as much time in your life learning it. You're perfect the way you are, just the way you are. Yes, there are things that you can develop, that you can grow on, but your soul is really valuable. And when you can see that worth, doorways start to open up, okay? That is going to be the opening to the Ace of Pentacles. You find it within, and then other people see it as well. And then they start to connect with it. Kind of deep for a moment there, but now let's get into the traditional reading. All right, we're going to look at those of you that are working, and that includes entrepreneurs, those of you that are looking for work, and then students and retirees. Starting first with those that have a traditional 9-to-5 job. Things have to change for some of you. I don't sugarcoat it when I see it. Some of you have had one foot in, one foot out for a while. This is the month where you could have a breakthrough. Really put some time and energy if you're over a job to try to find a new one. It could take a little bit beyond this month, but significant headway can happen here. Because it looks like the environment, for some of you, it's just not ideal. You have a hard time focusing. There's a lot of pressure to succeed, but there's not a lot of support, and there's not a lot of people that are kind of opening up, right? For those of you that are happy in your job, here's what I'm seeing. It's a month where things could change for the better. So what you've been doing, now you're being asked to try something new. So the tower can be either something that's crumbling apart or something that's building up here. So some of you may be at a point where someone says, you've done a great job, but I really need you over here. Are you ready for that? And it could be an increase in pay, an increase in title, a change overall, a change for the better. Trust yourself. I think you're capable and you're ready for this, but you have to believe it. And if you don't believe it, then it's going to be challenging. But so two really different paths. For some of you, you want to leave. For some of you, you're being asked to change. Another thing that I'm seeing here is restructuring. The tower at the center, and I've seen it across a few signs. So for whatever reason, people are picking September for a month of restructuring. It could be, a new boss coming in. It could be two businesses coming together and merging. It can be layoffs and staff reduction. It can also be a significant reworking. It's kind of like when a rebranding happens, right? So new logo, new brand, new marketing agency. Are you on board with the change? If you're on board with the change, it could be really, really good. If you're not, you can toss your hat in the ring for consideration somewhere else. No matter how we look at this month, change. I don't want people to sort of like take this as get worried about it. Change is just the central piece. It can be, if you're on board, the change can be good. If you're not, it's time to move on. That's really up to you if you want to stay or if you want to go. But things aren't staying the same this month. That's the one thing that I see in existing jobs. Significant movement and shifts. Some of you may also be asked to travel a lot more, and may also be asked to lean on an old skill that you haven't had to access for a while. So maybe you're going to take a refreshers course or something of that nature so that you feel comfortable and ready to do that again, okay? Could also be invited to an important meeting, say yes. Or you might feel like you want to pursue something. Like I said, if it's a special event or anything of that nature, yes, you could connect with somebody there. Entrepreneurs, time to change it up, particularly when it comes to the way that you're marketing. This is communication. This is change. This can be disorganized communication. Maybe you're going to hire someone to help you with your social media or marketing. I like that. It does feel like success is happening, but one of the challenges is growth. So in both people that have a job and then entrepreneurs, what could be creating some of the tension this month is unsustainable growth, unpredicted growth, where a lot of success is happening, a lot of things are coming through, but like companies can't keep up with orders, or the money needs to be invested wisely, otherwise it's going to be taxed, or something weird is happening with sustainable growth. So get organized there and ask for help if you need to, okay? All right, moving on. If you're looking for work, can you find it? Yes. It's attached to the world card, rather. So for many of you, this could require a transfer, a move from one location to another. This is also really, really good. Even though we have people looking for work, this could also be an invitation to start your own business, because this is you both producing and distributing. So if you want to self-publish, self-produce, self-release, I also get that energy here. Or if you're a part of an organization that empowers artists or producers, that's coming through. Ask for more when it comes to negotiation. And like I said earlier, don't force a connection, because I feel like the right one is on the horizon. But you're going to have to look in different directions. It's probably not the immediate place that you're looking. You're going to have to look in maybe different industries, different geographical locations, and you might go back to an old skill that you haven't used in a while. There might be a job opening there. If you are a student right now, you're either transferring to a new school, studying abroad, changing majors, changing minors, reorganizing your schedule, moving, possibly looking at your environment because it's causing either stress or distraction. So navigating change is going to be important. It's change for the better. I do see you landing on your feet, but it's a bumpy beginning to the month with a really solid ending. What you want to pay attention to, students, is this giving you what you need to feel clear, to feel listened to feel like you're not being pushed in a path that doesn't feel right? I definitely think this is a great time to change up. If you wanted to change schools, change majors, change location, something needs to shift a little bit there, okay? I feel like you have the right amount of work on your, or credit hours. It's more about focus. Retirees, you may want to travel or move or sell your house. Take time. It may not be the right time just yet. Don't force a sale until you get what you deserve from that, because especially when you're retired, that money matters. So make sure that you're not selling yourself short, literally, when it comes to the house. Making major changes, I think, is important here. Some of you are doing it in diet and exercise. Do it more slowly. That's what I see here. Don't try to change things overnight. I just see a great chance to explore new activities, new parts of your sort of like own self and soul, and possibly again travel. Let's now navigate love and relationships. We have a really powerful card coming through. It says grounding. Go deep and explore your roots. This is wonderfully connected to the energy of the lotus blossom, because again, the lotus requires a deep connection in the mud so that it can stretch all the way to the surface and grow. So this month, the grounding can be accomplished through things like therapy, whether it's just for yourself or couples therapy. It can be also really making sure that the two of you have an alignment in goals, in dreams, and in aspirations. As long as that firm foundation is there, you're going to be safe. But if it isn't, it's time to rebuild, folks. That's the center card. Let's look at this in 3 categories, and we'll take a look at all of these cards here. Current relationships, those that are seeking love, and those that are single and happy. If you're in a relationship, it may be time to get back to basics. Sometimes, like I said, we build up this wall and we're not that vulnerable, and you're breaking down the wall and just really feeling like you're both on firm ground and you can see each other, because that's the one thing in existing relationships that's lacking. It could just be like, I love you, I see you, I appreciate you. Or just checking in saying, it feels like you've been going through a lot. Can I help? What can I do? Or where is this coming from? Just trying to understand each other, basically. But even more importantly, acknowledging when something good happens. Wow, that was amazing that you did that. Or celebrating each other's successes. I'm so proud of the work that you've done. You should be too. Let's go celebrate. Isn't it cool when someone does that for you, a friend or a family member? Do it for others, lead by example, model the behavior, and see if they don't follow suit. And you can also just say, hey, it really means a lot when you say thanks or when you notice when I do stuff like this. It's not that you're begging for the attention. It's just saying we've got to work better at seeing one another and appreciating and not taking for granted the work that goes into making a relationship happen, right? Because it is work. And so whatever you can do to ground and acknowledge is going to, come back tenfold. All right, some other things in existing relationships. Like I said, there could be pregnancy. So depending on who is pregnant, there's going to be a need to either ask for help or give a little extra. So the scales of balance may be off a little bit, but things like this happen. Sometimes someone could be grieving the loss of someone. There could be multiple things going on at the same time, and you're going to have to negotiate the give and take. Things are changing. With the person that you married sometimes, or that you've been dating for a while, when some of these big life changes happen, they change too. And this is about growing together. As long as you're both growing and both seeing that, the relationship is fine. But if one person kind of grows by leaps and bounds and the other person isn't, they're afraid to sort of like change, then it's sort of like you have to move up or move on. And whenever there's soul growth, that's what happens with people around us. If you go here, they're either going to meet you or they're just going to stay there or go in their own direction. So give the partner a chance to level up, or work on leveling up if your partner's in that higher energy. And as long as you're both working and working together, things are good. I like the communication is open. I like that you both are busy. It looks like there's been a lot of movement and focus on success. I think the thing that's missing in this spread, where are the cups, folks? So we need the vulnerability that was actually coming through in wealth. A little bit more sensitivity, vulnerability, a little bit more breaking down of the walls here. Protection is going to be important. And it's hard, but it's important. So let people know what it is you want. The Hope Spheres and Opportunities card. What is it that you're trying to accomplish, not just in this relationship, but in your life? Let your partner be a part of that too, okay? There could also be long distance challenges going on. So if both of you are traveling or in two different geographical locations, it's making the stability difficult to maintain. That's what I see here. Can it be managed? Yes, but it has to be a two-way street, okay? Invite your partner for like a date night or something special. Surprise them. I think that could help. Moving on to those that are seeking love. Can you find it? Absolutely. We have Earth and Air coming through as two potential partners. I see past life energy, which can complicate it, because what I'm seeing here is the karmic lesson is, again, not forcing someone to be someone that they're not. So knowing that whoever you meet, for the most part, they're not going to change radically. I mentioned the change, like you change over time, but you usually don't change overnight. And there are certain personality traits that are just kind of baked in. So know what you're getting into and realize that a relationship is not like a home improvement program. So you got to love the person for where they're at and who they want to be, and not try to change that. Likewise, you are who you are, and if someone doesn't like that, if it's not enough, it likely never will be. So don't force the connection. Right now, I feel some of you may not be looking. That's when something comes in, something comes knocking. The type of energy that I see is from another, either another culture, another country, a place that you weren't expecting to find love. It could be knocking. And the near future is actually an earth sign, but this earth sign is really focused on either their own development, their own work, or they may have a family. They're separated and they have children, so it's about blending that and figuring out how to meet in the middle. I think this month, the energy really is more about personal development and healing, but if you're willing to put a little bit of extra stretch work in there, you can probably fit the relationship in. Earth sign from a different geographical or cultural background that has their own sort of issues and own schedule, and that's the big challenge that I'm picking up on here, okay? Now what we see here for those of you that are single and happy is a chance for travel and learning. Those are the two big energies here, and also self-discovery. Go deep, explore your roots. Your relationship is the one with yourself. You're going to figure out who you truly are. Anything that constitutes grounding, now is the time to do it. And anything that takes you out of this energy of wondering, like, what is it all about? This is the month to do some deep soul work. So I hope that resonates with you. All right, focusing now on the destiny message here. It's a trajectory that changes each month. Here's where it's headed this month. So we have self-esteem leading the charge here. The card is reversed. So in tarot, this would be connected with Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles often has to do with a past experience in childhood, or maybe even recent past, where someone just didn't value you. They may have even told you you're not good enough. And it sticks. It's not true, but it sticks. It's an opinion. It's a projection. So I want you to embrace your true worth, your true value, and that is how you can achieve the Ace of Pentacles this month. That is how you can get faster into the energy of the world as well. So that can be accomplished through what we just talked about, exploring who you are. Don't let someone else tell you what you are or what your worth is. Figure it out for yourself. Take a class, get involved, talk to somebody, follow your heart. This is a month where that path of self-discovery is going to open more doors than anybody else could do for you. So find your own true inner sort of compass. And I'm thinking of the Hierophant card with the 2 keys. Ultimately, the modern interpretations of that card, you'll just see sometimes just the key, because that's what it's about. You hold the key if you're ready. All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at the sun, rising, and moon sign messages so that we can help you navigate a little bit further here. All right, let me just put this to the side. We'll shuffle the cards and see what's coming through. Aries sun, rising, and moon. For the sun sign, we have the Ace of Swords, and this is really nicely connected to the tablet that I was talking about, where I saw basically a symbol for a blank page. It's your chance, it's your opportunity to sketch out or write out something new, and never underestimate the power of your words, whether written, spoken, or otherwise. It's really going to be important to speak up, to articulate. This is also about taking pen to paper. If there's any sort of revisions or changes or adjustments, particularly because we got the Tower card at the center, now is the time to say, I would like to be a part of this change, or I'd like to make sure that this happens. Speak up, speak often, and be very specific in what you're communicating. Okay? Let's move on from sun to rising. And in rising, we have emotional well-being. King of Cups in reverse. Letting something go, letting someone go. Finding a way to channel and to acknowledge the emotions that are present. Then and only then can you move on to the next thing. Whatever court card we have with cups, if it's upside down, it's usually because there's something that needs to be released. And we have multiple release cards here with like the 6 of Swords and even the World. So this is really about moving away from or beyond something in your life. If we zoom in on this, we can also see this telescope or sort of zoom lens that is helping you see something a little bit clearer. So if you want a closer look, or if you want a little bit more information, now is also the time to ask for that so you can get the clarity that you need. All right, let's move on to moon. In the moon, we have the Lovers. Here we go. This is a great energy for meeting, connecting, and networking. The card is reversed. So I think some of this has to do with the sort of outcome here in the, not the outcome, but the Destiny card, self-esteem. So it's really important for you to focus on trusting and valuing yourself in order to have someone else come through and do the same. We do see the ability for you to find love or find a connection or find employment, whatever you want to use this lover's energy for. Make sure that the spark is mutual in whatever it is that you decide to spend your time and energy, because without that, the foundation really isn't there. And so much of the message this month is about building a firm foundation. There has to be mutual admiration, mutual respect, and a mutual spark. Let's go ahead now and focus on one final question. This can be anything that you need some advice or clarity on. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Hold that question in your mind, and let's give the cards a shuffle. Okay, this is a pretty good card. 9 of Pentacles would be a yes, but the challenge in the 9 of Pentacles sometimes is accepting help. So for many of you, or just bringing new things in, because it's a very independent card. So in a yes or no, it's yes, but there's an opportunity to do it easier or faster or more efficiently by partnering up. And that's maybe especially what I was kind of tapping into with the Lovers here, by opening up and receiving. In the reverse state, it's about acknowledging how far you've come and how capable you are. So there's no question when I pull this card that you can do something. All that's holding you back is either a desire to do it on an arbitrary timeline or deadline, or maybe, again, feeling like it has to happen with someone or without someone. Just opening yourself up to do it in your own time when it feels right. That's the key to success right now. Keep working hard. Nine of Pentacles is showing that it will pay off. You are tracking in the right direction. And that's all I have to say on that. All right, everybody, that's your reading for the month. I hope you resonated with what I talked about today. If you did, it's optional, but this helps. Why not hit the subscribe button if you're brand new? If you're an existing member, you can hit the thumbs up for the video. This shows me that it resonated, and it also helps other people find it. So in advance, I'd just like to say thanks. You can also follow me across social media to get reminders, just in case they don't come through here on YouTube. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all major platforms. A quick reminder, I don't offer private readings. I'm not going to send any direct messages or try to get your attention in comments and say, hey, click this link or call me or send money. That's obviously a spam technique, but people out there do that. So be aware, be safe. Let me know if you see anything like that. If you want to show love and support, you can do it through an official channel right here on YouTube, and you can do it through memberships, which are a great way to give back in a consistent way. Super stickers, super likes, and also super thanks. All of that available on this platform. And that, my friends, is everything. I just want to end with gratitude. Thank you for being present, for working on yourselves, for spending some time with me, for creating a great community and being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. I wish you the best in the month ahead. Check out my daily and also my weekly videos as well. And until I see you next time, take care.